So now I'm going to show you how to customize the dialog boxes. So everything you want checked will be checked. If the sampling fraction or the counting frame, if you want a different number than what I coded in, you can change that and then it will always be changed. So you'll have to edit the script itself, but I try to make it as painless as possible. So this is everything, conc.ijm. That's the whole program. And this is from the image.j folder. So if you double click it to open it, you get an error message. I recommend using Notepad++. I really apologize for any vocal fry action going on. Seriously, it's one of my pet peeves and I feel like I have it right now. So Notepad++, download that. And is this showing up? Notepad++. And then I drag and drop. So, downloads. You take this, you drag and drop. You'll notice everything is white. It's supposed to be able to pull the language once you set the extension, but mine doesn't do it. So you would just, if everything is all the same color, you would go into language, go in J for Java, select Java, and then it'll color code. My brother hates dark backgrounds. I always do dark background with some sort of this kind of green in it, because it makes me feel like I'm in a 1980s hacker movie. My brother thinks it's awful. If it doesn't color code with Java, you would go into settings style configurator. I guess that's a word. And then choose Java. I don't know. Once I set up Notepad++, I kind of ignore the stuff within the program. I just use it for coding. But you can select different themes until you get something that just differentiates somewhat. So I use Blackboard and I've probably customized some of it. But basically, the way I have different colors, you just want some different colors in some way. Once you've done that, this is, like I said, it's everything in the program. So I took everything from the dialog boxes and I made everything where there's a checkbox, something that the user selects, is now something called a global variable, and those start with VAR in this program. Do not change VAR, do not change this. Do not change the equal, and make sure that the semicolon stays. That's why the color coding is really easy. Here it would be like, don't change pink stuff and white stuff. So what comes after the equal sign and before the semicolon is the stuff you will change. What I did was I put all possible options that you can change it to over here. So this is the image prep box or the stack preparation. Say you're working with a flat image, so you don't need to flatten dual channels, and every time you open the box, you are clicking on none. You would go into this file, change this to none, just copy and paste and use the exact format. So quotes, everything that's separated by commas here. Extract green channel only if that's what you're doing. Take that, copy and paste it. There will be times when somehow, without knowing how, you paste something wrong. So if you get a weird error message after you change something, just go back in and check your formatting. And make sure you didn't delete the semicolon or something like that. So for true false, because true false is like a basic, binary is 0 and 1. That's all true false, more or less. So that's colored a different color. Numbers in this theme are colored a different color. But anything with false or true, I have everything set to false by default. If you often suppress messages, you'll want to set those to true. Basically, I still put everything after the forward slashes. So these are your only two options. You can set it to true, you can set it to false, and then just note the formatting. This one has quotes, this one does not have quotes, and there's only two options. I put what what this variable is in brackets. So this is exactly as it appears in the dialog box. It should be. If you find errors, let me know. So make image a negative, smooth image, make image grayscale. Once you get used to looking at this, it'll be pretty easy to change stuff. Although you'll probably change it once and then have what you want. So this is the step 2 region for 10x stacks. I have it set to lemon because I figure that's good for dark backgrounds. Say you like tangerine or white better, you would just copy and paste this, replace lemon. So that's done for everything. Here is the sampling fraction, which I believe is actually set to 16 and 10. Yeah. If you find you're using a higher or lower sampling fraction, rather than changing that every time you open the dialog box, you'll just want to go in here and change it to whatever number you want, and then everything that comes after. So here it's called suppress count. That variable makes sense. Usually I keep variables shorter, so you'll have to rely on the brackets. Suppress all messages. It's supposed to be an end bracket. You can change anything after these slashes that's in blue, you can change. So if you want to write your own notes, my camera's gonna fall. Sorry. If you want to write your own notes after this, you can do that. That won't mess with the program. But when I send you a new version, those notes aren't going to be saved, so I don't know if that's interesting or something you would want to do. So in the brackets, you'll rely on this, not necessarily the variable name. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it's my own shorthand. So on this one, anything between quotes is something called a string. Don't change the string. So on the options over here, you'll notice I have like these big spaces because that's the way I wanted the menu to appear. That's the way you have to keep it like that. So the lesson is just copy and paste. This is for the Cavalieri or point estimator. If you're always using it at 4 or 5, definitely want to change this. If you're always here, it has random selection. If you're always using pink, change it to pink. Oh, that was another thing I changed. I changed these colors to be more uniform. And I forgot to, you said somewhere yellow was the default and it appeared in the middle of the menu. I think I haven't changed that, wherever that is. That just occurs to me right now. But these I made so instead of, on the past one, it had blue, navy, blue, royal, blue sky. Now everything is dark, bright, or light, to be more uniform. I have no clue what I was thinking when I did it the other way. Like, who knows? Okay, every dialog box should appear. If you see something missing, let me know. And I even have the artistic effects and the stack statistics. So if you find you're doing one thing all the time, like say you really like rainy window for whatever reason, and you're always making rainy window, then you might want to set the default to this. It's really useful if I use a mouse programmer tool, mouse X control, and so it looks like this. Setting these things is really useful because then you can have it auto open and close the dialog box. So after, let me see, don't change anything. I was gonna say anything after var, don't change, but this one has var. Just be careful. Well, you'll always have the save file on the email, so that's fine. I would say probably just play around with changing these, and if you run into trouble, let me know. Or if you have a different formatting that you would like me to do on here, like maybe if you want the choices to be labeled choices, I don't know, let me know that. And if anything is missing from here that you want to change. Like one thing I didn't put in is the microns. that dialog box that you sometimes get that says enter the microns on counting on size, not counting, but size measurements. Like, we could put that in here. I have it set to the default for your stacks, so I don't know if you'd want that. Okay, I think that's everything. Oh, yeah, and then once you change something, because we pulled this from the actual ImageJ folder, we just dragged and dropped, all you have to do is save it from here. I don't know about the Notepad++ default, but mine unsaved is red, and then once I save it, it turns blue, which when I have like 20 files open, I use it a lot in writing this program. So once you save it, you can open ImageJ and it'll have your same features. You don't have to close this or anything. So you can actually have this side by side with ImageJ. That's actually probably what you'll want to do. And then as you have the dialog boxes, you can go in, you can change it in here, and it's not going to mess with ImageJ until you save this. I think that's everything.